Hold on one second. We about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we doing over here, baby. Let's go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? One and only James Williams, Dark Waters, and I'm back. Why is my camera not working? Yeah, I probably need a little bit more light, but I ain't about to get up to get no more light. Listen, I wanted to bring some videos to you guys, and I want to talk to you about what's going on with the Pope of Pope Leo, the whatever his number is, the 14th or whatever the hell his number is, the 24th, 10, yeah, whatever Pope Leo's number is. He came out and made a statement. I urge the head of the states and the leaders of the nation to listen to the cry of the poor. There can be no peace without justice. The poor remind us in many ways through migration as well as through their cities, which are often stifled by the myth of well-being and progress, which does not take everyone into account. So the Pope comes out and criticizes, takes a shot at the American government, basically on immigration. And I got to tell you, it takes some balls to do that. And the reason why it takes some balls to do it is because the Vatican has gates and walls. But at the same time, the Vatican has brought in, this Pope has brought in transgenders, he's brought in Muslims. And it's amazing that we find ourselves in such a situation. It's almost as if in the realm of Christianity, people have lost their freaking minds. Heaven has gates. I mean, you can't just pop into heaven. Somebody will say, well, you know, James, Satan goes to heaven. No, Satan goes to the courts of heaven. Satan ain't going to run around to heaven. Every time you ever read about Satan, him talking to God, they were in a court. The first court process that you heard about was him and God having a conversation about Job. That was in the courts of heaven. And every time you see Satan, it's talking about, since he's been cast down, it's talking about him in the courts. Even with Zechariah, when he went to contend with Zechariah and make accusations before the throne of Zechariah, that was in the courts of heaven. And so there are rules, regulations everywhere. But we as a nation are not supposed to have borders. It's insane. It's utterly ridiculous. DC Drano says the exact same thing I say. Heaven has gates. The Vatican has gates. Why can't America have gates? Valentina Gomez, instead of meeting with transgenders and building Muslim prayer rooms, open the doors of the Vatican. Set the example, Pope. Don't be a hypocrite. And wow. Shouldn't the heads of states be concerned with the poor citizens of his own state first, rather than with importing millions of the poorest migrants from third world, many of whom are racially and culturally hostile? Pope Francis washes and kisses the feet of African and Muslim migrants. Wow. Wow. You're talking about hypocrisy on a whole nother level. And here's the image of the wall outside the Vatican. I mean, it's crazy that he would have fixed his mouth to even talk about that. I mean, it's absolutely insane that he would fix his mouth to talk about it. Then we get where Tom Homan engages him. And Tom Homan just tells it like it is, man. He just tells it like it is. Hold on, watch this. Here's Tom Homan addressing what was said by the Pope. And I can't agree with him any more than I would agree with anybody else. I mean, I totally agree with what Tom Homan's about to say.
Catholic bishops sent out a special message. They said they get that countries to secure their borders. But they don't like these mass deportations. What's your message?
So the message, according to them, the message we should send to the whole world is that if you cross the border illegally, which is a crime, don't worry about it. If you get ordered removed by a federal judge after due process, don't worry about it, because there shouldn't be mass deportations. Is that the message we send to the whole world? People are still going to put themselves in harm's way to come to the greatest nation on earth. They're going to spend their life savings to give to a criminal cartel. We saw during the Biden administration when there wasn't no immigration enforcement. Over 4,000 aliens died mechanized during the historic record. 250,000 Americans died in fentanyl historic record. Secure borders save lives. I wish the Catholic Church would understand that. We have the right to secure our borders like we have the right to secure their facility. You can't enter their facility without being arrested. Matter of fact, the penalties entering their facilities are much worse than ours. So, we're going to force the law, and by doing that, we're saving a lot of lives. Secure borders saves lives. And one of the reasons no one talks about why we have the most secure border in the history of this nation is because exactly what ISIS is doing. ISIS sent a message to the whole world: don't leave your life savings and come to the country, because you're not going to be released. You're not going to cross the border illegally when you possible. So the Catholic Church is wrong. I'm sorry. I'm a lifelong Catholic. I'm saying it as not only a borders, I'll say it as a Catholic. I think they need to spend time fixing the Catholic Church, in my opinion.
On H1B,
Wow. I think they need to spend time fixing the Catholic Church. This globalist push against America, have you noticed how it's all at a crescendo right now? The push against Tucker Carlson, the push against Megyn Kelly, they've been pushing against Alex Jones. This push against Candace Owens, the push against Nick Fuentes, the push against everything that makes America America from every angle. It's amazing. Donald Trump came out and addressed the issue of Tucker Carlson, which I think he did the right thing by addressing it. I think he let it go way too long by waiting to address it, but I think he did the right thing to address it. And here he is addressing it.
I've had some great interviews with Tucker Carlson, but you can't tell him who to interview. If he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about him, but if he wants to do it, get the word out. Let him, people have to decide. Ultimately, people have to decide. The mayor of New York, I will say, would like to meet with us, and we'll work something out. But he would like to come to Washington and meet, and we'll work something out. We want to see everything work out well for New York.
You yourself had dinner with Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago a few years ago. What role should he play in the conservative movement?
Well, I didn't know he was coming, and he was with, as you know, somebody, Kanye. And Kanye asked if he could have dinner, and he brought Nick. I didn't know Nick at the time. And he did. He came, and along with a few other people. He brought a few people with him. Meeting people, talking to people, like for somebody like Tucker, that's what they do. People are controversial. Some are, some aren't. I'm not controversial, so I like it that way. Okay.
And he should have just came out and did that. If he came out and did that in the very first place, none of this would have gotten where it went to. I said this before. I said all they had to do was come out and hang out and talk about it and basically side with Tucker Carlson. But you let it go on for, this is the third week of it. And so now you want to do damage control. And I don't think the damage control is going to work at this point in time. I'm not sure if there's enough. I'm not sure if there's enough that can be done. Like, in my opinion, he should have addressed Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin. Hey, he should have said Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin weren't MAGA at the beginning. They were endorsing other people when I was running for office, and all of a sudden they're trying to tell us who we can listen to and who we can't listen to, and who we can talk to and who we can't talk to. And this would have ended a lot earlier. And I'm just going to tell you guys, I believe it's Alex Jones speaking and the president hearing him who made this happen. Why do I say that? Because Alex came out and said this. Where are you, Alex?
Trump and MTG. The situation between President Trump and MTG is very, very dangerous. It's not just isolated to Trump being mad at her for her disagreeing with him on some issues. It goes back to Elon Musk being driven out of the administration and Doge getting partially derailed. All the polls, all the numbers showed that killed that massive wave coming in. Trump had the highest approval rating he's ever had. People loved it. Now he's figured out that was wrong. He's bringing Musk back and has given him the head of NASA and the rest of it. But we need Musk completely back. We have to have a big tent in our populist, conservative, nationalist, common sense coalition. We don't need to be at war with Thomas Massie or MTG or any of these people or Senator Rand Paul. Yes, they vote their conscience like Ron Paul did. Ron Paul really built along with myself and many others, the modern launch pad that Trump came in on. I agree with 95% of what Trump does. But when I criticize him on issues I think are wrong, like saying Epstein's a hoax, no, you being involved is a hoax, now you say, oh no, the Democrats are involved, investigate them. Damn right. So when I saw Trump wrong on that, I said, that's wrong. Oh, my constituents aren't my constituents. If you think Epstein thing is real, you're not MAGA. He lost like 6, 7, 8 points, according to all the top pollsters that I trust have been deadly accurate, like Mark Mitchell over at Rasmussen off that. And he kind of built it back, and now he's doing it again. I need Trump to succeed. If you actually watch MTG in these interviews, she says she loves Trump and he's the best, and she agrees with almost everything he's doing except this, and that, because she's got constituents and she's allowed to have her views, and we're not in a cult. Instead, he said really mean things about her, and now people are trying to say, choose a side, choose a side. This is hurting Trump, it's hurting America, it's hurting MAGA, and we should have people that are able to go on all the other shows like Bill Maher and other programs and talk about things that they think are right Trump's doing and bad things, because again, we're not in a cult. Bill Maher now goes and has dinner with Trump and says he's better than the Democrats. And now a lot of them have turned on him. We're winning hearts and minds, not just here, but around the world. Globalism is in trouble. Populism is rising. And Trump did not build the wave he came in on. He rode in on it, and he did a great job, and he was a perfect catalyst for it. But now he's starting to behave like he's not worried about his original constituents because he's not facing re-election. This could really taint MAGA into the future. It could really hurt J.D. Vance and his great shot at beating Newsom. I'm really thinking about winning here. I have some of the America Firsters, and I see myself as that. I was saying that, calling myself America First 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Mad saying, oh, you're not holding Trump's feet to the fire enough. Then I've got people that want to be in like a MAGA cult saying, oh no, you don't question anything out of his administration. It's crazy. MTG is a great lady, a good friend of mine. Her husband with Right Side Broadcasting was the only major media operation that didn't turn on Trump when they stole the election from him. He's stuck with Trump. Now they're demonizing him for no reason. Not Trump, but some of his people. I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely nuts, ladies and gentlemen. The target is AOC and Mondami and Schumer and the globalist and Keir Starmer and the EU and Ursula von der Leyen and all this tyranny we face. Let's come together. Everybody wanted to pick a side, Musk or Trump. I said, don't pick a side. But we should be nice to Musk and try to keep him in there and defend him from the neocons and others that want him out because they wanted the power over Trump. And I was right. So if you guys want to lose the midterms, keep celebrating attacking MTG and keep celebrating like you're in high school and you're picking the cool kid and who the captain of the football team is going to be. That's not how this works. God bless you all. I'll be live today at 4 p.m. Central out of the legendary InfoWars studios with all the analysis and breaking news. Mexico is in total revolt against their narco-terrorist state, allied with BlackRock, the globalist, and the Chi-Coms, just as Trump has been pointing out. Just amazing. A very good chance that the Scheinbaum's government's going to be toppled. We know they steal elections up there. So we'll be covering all that as well today at 4 p.m. Central. Be sure and follow me right here on X at Real Alex Jones. Thank you so much.
Did you notice as how he talked that the sun started opening up on over time? The sun started shining directly on him. Watch this. This is the beginning of the conversation. Boom, 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 boom. Sun opens up, sun opens up, sun opens up, clouds open up. And then by the time he gets through giving this straight talk, boom. A beam of light is shining on him. And somebody will say, James, that's just that's bull crap. That doesn't mean anything. I can show you where prophets like him all over the world, when they start speaking and they're outdoors, beams of light come from the sky and literally shine on top of them. The clouds part themselves and then light shines on top of them. And somebody will write it off, but I can go find. In fact, I've done videos where I've showed you guys, people out of Africa, where the guy's preaching and he's walking on stage and beams of light are following him on stage. You see, the way God endorses a man is really, really subtle. But it's him shining his light on him, saying, nope, he's speaking for me. And when you really think about what's going on, he's telling 100% truth. This back and forth, this divide, it's stupid. God is not the author of confusion. So any confusion that's going on, you know he ain't got nothing to do with it. And so the man who comes out and says, hey, stop the confusion, of course God is endorsing what he's saying. Of course, he's endorsing it. And we'll start from the beginning. Bing, boom, 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 boom. And let's see what he's saying when the light first shines. Life is so much more spiritual than we make it out to be. Everybody thinks life is natural. When the first beam of light, I just saw it. There was one before this. Give me a second. No, that's where it came in at. Bing. So there it is. Go back, go back, go back. Where are we at?
But we should be nice to Musk and try to keep him in there and defend him from the neocons and others that want him out because they wanted the power over Trump. And I was right. So if you guys want to lose the midterms, keep celebrating attacking MTG and keep celebrating like you're in high school and you're picking the cool kid and
there it comes.
Who the captain of the football team's going to be. That's not how this works. God bless you all. Be live today at 4 p.m. Central out of the legendary InfoWars studios with all the analysis and breaking news. Mexico is in total revolt against their narco-terrorist state, allied with BlackRock, the globalists, and the Chi-Coms, just as Trump has been pointing out. Just amazing. A very good chance that the Scheinbaum's government's going to be toppled. We know they steal elections up there. So we'll be covering all that as well today at 4 p.m. Central. Be sure to follow me right here on X at Real Alex Jones. Thank you so much.
Right as he gives him the ultimatum, here comes the beam of the light. Somebody will say, well, DW, that don't make no sense. Hold on. Nah, there'll be the naysayers who call this man Bill Hicks after what I said, but I'm not really worried about them, and you shouldn't worry about them. What you should worry about is understanding what happens in the kingdom of God. Point blank, period. And understand what the endorsements, the public endorsements look like. And the opposite is the satanic endorsement. So I'm going to play Prophet Anwar baptizing someone, and you'll see the light shine on him. And you understand what I mean by this. I got to turn the volume down because they'll hit me with a copyright. And I'll say this, just because people don't like a person doesn't mean that person is not God's tool. And God's not using that man or that woman. God don't really care about how you feel about a person. Because it don't matter how you feel. He just don't care. That's why I don't really care about what men have to say. As long as he cares about me, then I don't really care what you got to say. And what damn, here's the glowing lights. The sun glowing directly on them. But these are the kind of signs that you'll notice on men that God's hand is on. And I'll just even say it with this. Even if you notice the people that he's touching, they come under that same glow. But it's really that simple. I mean, it truly, really is that simple. These are the kind of things that are happening all the time. It's just that we're not trained to see these things. You see the light coming down? We're not trained to see them. And so when you pay close attention, let me stop this. When you pay close attention, I might as well let him go ahead and dance. When you pay close attention, you start to notice all of these.
Roman Catholic bishops sent out a special message. They said they get that countries can secure their borders.
You know, it's so many. Even as I listen to the music that was just playing, I come to realize that there's such a loss, a deficit in the existing theology that people are getting. That when you start to show people things like this, it's hard for them to believe. It really is hard for people to believe because a lot of people think Jesus is out of the miracle business. Like God is just not involved in this world and in things of this world. Before I get out of here, I'm gonna share something. I'm gonna share a secret with you guys. There's a couple of you guys who watch me who really can't sleep. You've been struggling to sleep for years. Like you're afraid to go to bed, and you've been this way for a long time. I'm sorry that you're going through that, but there's an issue in your environment, and you have to control the atmosphere of your environment in order to get rest. And while you initially start off by trying to control the atmosphere of your environment, while you have that atmosphere being saturated, then you're going to turn around and you're going to start praying through a couple of gates of prayer. Pray at 12 noon. If you're up at midnight, pray at 12 midnight. If you wake up at 3 a.m., pray at 3 a.m. And give it 10 minutes. Lord, thank you for sustaining me while I sleep. Thank you for waking me up. And confront the things that are there. Find scripture to confront whatever's bothering you. If it's fear, the word of God says, "For the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." And then meditate on it. The Lord has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Keep on meditating on it. And then what will end up happening is that piece of scripture will unlock like a book that opens up. And then the question will be like, well, what is power? Well, what is love? And what is a sound mind? And then you'll do the biblical research on what power is, what love is, and what a sound mind is. And then you'll get the revelation. Once that revelation unlocks for you, then fear will go away because it's become reality to you. But in the meantime, here's what I want you to do. And I'm going to do this while we're live. I want you to go get this. I want you to come find this 11-hour video. It's not fully on the screen. And for the person that or the persons I'm talking to, please in the comments reply so people understand that I'm not lying to you. Tongues of Fire by Pastor Chris. Atmosphere for prayer, healing, deliverance, and express miracles. Just type in Tongues of Fire, Pastor Chris, and it'll come up, and it'll be a 12-hour long video. Put that on before you go to bed, and watch the night of rest you get. You ain't got to play it loud, just play it low, and watch the night of rest that you get that night, and then understand that you need to contend with some things that are interfering with your prayer life. And just so you'll see what the screen looks like this is what the screen looks like. This is what the thumbnail image looks like. So you see 12 hours of repeat. And you'll understand when you get that good night's rest. You'll understand. But in the meantime, while you're getting that rest, then you need to go into prayer and study and come to the understanding of what God promised you about sleep, because He made promises, and anything that violates that promise is actually trespassing against Him, and you need to hold that thing accountable for trespassing against Him and His kingdom. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Deuces.